It's like a North Face parka or something, the way they put this thing together. Thing of beauty. The Smart Woodshop is a portable woodshop, meaning that I set it up in a lot of different locations. So my dust collection's got to be portable as well. I use Festool CT22E. That's my older one. The CT26E, older as well, but it's newer than that one. This one, I have the ability to add the Bluetooth. This little plate here is removable, and then I can purchase the module that'll plug into there. So this could run the work with the cordless tools. I'm Ron Paulk, and this is the Smart Woodshop. If you want to get a detailed set of plans to build a Smart Woodshop, one of the smart workbenches, or any of the accessories that work with the system, there's a link in the description of this video down below. You can go there, purchase plans, and then download them 24/7, 365. I've been working on that LR32 and MFT jig, and so I've been drilling a lot of 20mm holes, and I've been using my Festool router with the hose into this. I figured the bag was close. So you have to do the math on buying the disposable bags, and also those can be recycled a little bit. I've shown in another video how I can empty these out, use them a couple of times. So it really might be hard to justify a reusable bag, but I like them. It's like a North Face parka or something, the way they put this thing together. Thing of beauty. Sawdust is fact of life. If you've got a shop of any kind or work with saws, you're going to make sawdust. So it's good to collect as much dust as you can at the saw, and then you're going to end up vacuuming up and sweeping up. And the nice thing about a portable shop is that one, it's on wheels, so I can push things out of the way, sweep up, I can get around and vacuum. I break it down occasionally or quite often to move it or do something different with it. So when it gets broken down, everything gets cleaned up and kind of back to square one. Smart Woodshop being portable, I have fussed around with different ways to collect dust over the years. I've done videos on them, and I was trying to have a triple adapter for the vacuum set up, made, and I got one, I got a prototype, I still have it. And then I did different, blast gates. I ended up kind of abandoning that, and I went back to the Y that Festool has. I have a full-time one on the table saw, and then this one, the floater, is a longer hose. So I like this one because I can clean up the bench top and stuff with this one. Plus, it floats from this saw, which is on most of the time, and it fits on the router fence. It fits on the sander and any of the other bench top stuff that I have set up. What it comes down to is, do I get enough suction with two hoses going at the same time? I decided to step back a bit and see if I could go back to the blast gate thing. So I found these blast gates. They're plastic and they're orange, but they seem to be really well made. They don't clog up, or the edges don't clog up like the other ones I had did. The one that's for the miter saw. And on the table saw, I was able to put it right on the back of the saw, so I can just remember to reach over and turn it on, turn it off. I would like to have the one down there up here, or maybe even on the hose, maybe cut the hose and kind of integrate it into this, so that wherever this is, I'd have that, because I still have to remember to come down and close this one before I go over and open that one up. If I do happen to leave them both open, it's going to work the same as it did before I use these, so it's not the end of the world. When I close one of these, the section on the other one goes way up, so it makes a big difference. So I think it's worth the effort to at least work on this and see if I can get it to work out. But I do know we can't have too many hurdles. We need to be safe, we need to be organized, and things just need to work. If we have to remember step one, step two, every hurdle we have makes us less efficient, and we have a tendency, I think, to not do those things. So we want to make things as automatic as possible. And I think with these orange ones, if I had it up in my line of sight here, then that would remind me, it'd be pretty easy to click it open and close. I'm not going to get into having powered ones or anything like that. I know it's going to either be none or a manual one. It's out of sight, so that's a big negative. Out of sight, out of mind. But there really is no way, because the hose is down here. It's either going to be here or at the vacuum. And you might argue we'll put them both on the vacuum, and then you could always remember close one, open the other. And that's not a bad idea either. Dust collection is really important. Obviously, for your safety, you just don't want to get that stuff in your lungs. You want to minimize it. So collecting sawdust at the tool is your best option, getting as much as you can, wearing some kind of protection that will keep at least some of that really fine dust from getting into your lungs. You're not going to do 100%. And then the other thing that works really well, but it's pretty much more of a fixed base shop, so I really can't do it in my situation here, but to have those ceiling mounted dust collectors, they get that fine dust. And I had multiple of those in my shop, and they were all turned on together. So when I'd go in the shop and they were quiet, I'd turn them on and they would just run 100% of the time. And sometimes I forget to turn them off, but I didn't mind that either, because they were working. Just a matter of remembering to check the filters. They work really good to get that kind of negative pressure, because that fine, if you ever if you're cutting and you have sawdust, you might not see it, and then the sun shines through and you see how much of that really fine dust is floating around. So again, I think having some kind of mask. These are, I'm sure this is an N95 with the replaceable one. I can't swear to it working, but at least it's another thing that I can do. Quality vacuum, a HEPA vacuum that will do its job day in and day out. They're all fairly expensive. I mean, there's just a lot of technology to them, quality motors, the venting, the way the bags work, all of that stuff just requires them to cost more. And an inexpensive vacuum really probably causes more trouble than it helps. You'll find that a lot of them will suck stuff in and blow out more fine dust that you're breathing in than they're collecting. And they may look okay in the very beginning, but they just don't hold up very long. It has to be a perfect environment for them to work at all. Buy the best that you can and make it work for as long as you can, and then the cost of it will be amortized over time and really will be well worth it. Mahalo.